The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Wrap this one up in green and white.
Hello, RailCats fans, and welcome back to another edition of the RailCats Talk podcast. And what a tough pill to swallow. Now, there's plenty of things to talk about in this game. And now, at first, I was at work all night, so I wasn't, looking at the tweets and all. I wasn't expecting to do a podcast because I figured it was going to be a blowout game and the RailCats were just going to walk away with it. Well, they didn't. And after because I got to watch from I was listening in the 8th and then got to watch the 9th through the 10th. And we all know the elephant. If you watch that game, we know the elephant in the room. That double play that should have happened, that didn't happen there at the top of the 10th, or at least could have gotten one person. So when I'm looking here, right? It was Ario, who should have been out at second, I believe it was. So what ends up happening is, let's see here. He advances to a double. It's not really showing me. Okay, yeah. So it was Nair who. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. I got it now. I just had to read through the box score right now. So it was Ario who hit the ball to Lingua. Lingua immediately threw it to Smith. Now Smith chased Nair basically almost all the way back to third, and this is where the first mistake I think what should have gone through Jackson Smith's head was not to dive and tag him out, but just throw the ball to third. And now I understand that he was close enough to where he fell, tagged him, got up, threw it to second. Could have been a double play. I'm not so much arguing the fact that Nair should have been out. I am arguing the fact that Ario was out by a freaking mile, and I do not know how that second base umpire did not see he was out by a mile. I have never seen a perfectly thrown ball. Woodworth was at least three feet from the bag. Tagged him. There is no he tagged him up in the upper shoulder. I don't know. I don't know how he wasn't out at second. I am more fears because as I was watching the replay, I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. And I thought he was out at second. He called him. I was like, that's kind of when I went back and kept looking. They kept showing the replay. And I'm like, there's no way he was safe. And these umpires are absolutely horrendous in the American. So this is not the last game I went to when they played the Dogs. There was a play at home. I don't know how the guy was safe at home. I don't know what it is, but the game should never be decided because of an umpire's interference into the game, if that makes sense. This game broke loose because of the umpires. Now, I am not saying what the events happened in the 10th inning justifies the outcome of this game, because I can look, when I'm looking back at it, the RailCats bullpen lately has been horrendous. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the deal is or what they're doing. I watching Vincent pitch, he just didn't seem like Price comes in to shut down the game, and he doesn't want to throw the ball to anyone. They want to work around everyone. I get that Cleveland has been on fire with their bats, and Nick Garcia has not been the same. He is just not reliable anymore at this point. He has to be put into a game where they can build the start before start the All-Star break, the start after the All-Star break, like he's just not, everything just doesn't seem to be going right for the RailCats at this point. Like I said, when I go back, I'll go back, and like I was talking about Garcia, because when I look here, where's he at? His game against Winnipeg, he went 2-1 innings, gave up 7 runs. The game against the Dogs, he gave up 6 runs, 5 earned. And in Kansas City on July 2nd, he gave up 10 earned runs. He just hasn't been, and he was the shock to me that he made the All-Star game. Realistically, he was a bit of a shock to me. Not saying that in the All-Star game he pitched 1.3 or 2/3 of an inning. He pitched very well. I'm not saying that when he played, he didn't play. He played well in the All-Star game, but he didn't really pitch. It just, there has to be something that he shouldn't be in a high leverage situation. After I get you want to build the confidence, but I just don't think he should have been in that situation, and they did put them in that situation. And not saying that realistically he was the first pillar to fall in the crumbling of this game. In all aspects of the game, to me personally, if you went yesterday and you blew out a team, your starting pitcher went 7 in a couple innings, and then you had a relief pitcher finish out the rest of the game, this would have been a game to burn. Just burn the game, burn it, burn burn your pitching staff. Go ahead and burn it. Then you get the rubber match. If you lose that, you're still a half game up in the of Cleburne for that 4th position. Now you're a half game below them, and now you have to win tomorrow to jump them again, right? This just burn through the bullpen. I mean, Nick Garcia gave up 6 runs. Aaron Phillips gave up 6 runs. Josh Vincent gave up 5 runs, which I don't know. Their scoring, they should only have given up 4 runs, earned runs. But I sit there and I look. There was he only walked 3 people, but there was a couple intentional walks, hit by pitch, that kind of stuff. That at this point, when Nick Garcia comes in, so I would say, what inning was it that he would have came in at? Maybe the 4th. Yeah, he came in the 4th. And he was taken out probably in the... Yeah, he was taken out in the 8th. So from the 4th to the 8th, right? When we look here from the 4th to the 8th, Cleveland scored 4 runs in the 4th. Or no, they didn't. My bad, that was the RailCats. They scored 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th, and 3 in the 3rd, and in the 8th. At that point, you just burn. Once he gives up that second, he gives up that second run in the 6th. It's 11. Yeah. It's 11-7 at this point. Like, okay, burn the bullpen. Burn it. At this point, because then you gave up 3 in the 8th. Like, it just nothing. And Josh Finch or Aaron Phillips came in and he didn't help you any better. This is the point where the split in the room could happen. You got pitching. Starting pitching has been outstanding. It's been very good. It's been very good all year. Bullpen, not so much. Offense, This is a game that they should have buried Cleveland into the ground and drove them all the way through the ground and said, we are better than you. The American Association should not have you in the top 4 of the American Association because we're that much better than you. But then your bullpen pisses it away for you. Someone's got to take accountability for this bullpen. This organization decided, you know what? We're going to get rid of the small ball. We're going to get power hitters. We're going to get clutch hitters. We're going to bring people in that are going to be successful at the plate. You do it, and guess what? You're going to score 13 runs. You're going to score another 15 runs. You're going to score high amounts. Now it's time to look at the bullpen and go, all right, you're not up to par here. It seems like they're giving the bullpen arms, and I'm not saying that sometimes pitching you need to get in the rhythm, you need to get a confidence booster, this and that. But holy crap, you're pissing away an opportunity when you piss away an opportunity later in the 5th all the way through the and then the 10th was kind of a crapshoot. But even at that, when you take the 10th in accountability, right? This is where, okay, Lamar Rogers, he got an earful. Or he gave an earful to Sean McKinney. And I think it was probably it was probably Mayhew Edwards. That was the guy that called Ario safe, which he wasn't safe. He was out by a mile. But with that being aside, let your head coach, let your manager get kicked out of the game. He did. He threw a hissy fit, which he had every right to. I think everyone had the right to throw a hissy fit at that point. But then for Josh Vincent, you got to take a deep breath, and you can't let this game get out of hand. And that's what ended up happening, as the game got out of hand, because not 10th, this is what I want. You intentionally walk the guy, and then Clennon comes through, and then you have the home run. Like, at this point, you have to, because if it wasn't for the home run, which was a 3-run home run, you would have given up just the 2 runs. All right, not that bad. The score is going to be 13-11, and then Sam Abbott in the bottom of the 10th hits a 2-run shot, would have tied the game up. But then you go off and you lose your mind, and you give up a home run. This is where you have to hone in. This is what I was talking about last night. Baseball, the famous saying is baseball is 90% mental and 10% skill or physical, right? Baseball is a mental man's game. If you don't have that mental side to you, you're not going to be successful. And this is what you saw. When you see a team melt down, this is what's going to happen. They just keep melting down. They keep going down. And you keep going down. You keep going down. You keep faltering. And there's a reason why Thornton comes out after every freaking walk the RailCats give up, because I just don't know if the RailCats if this pitching staff is mentally capable of just taking a deep breath and letting it go. Just let it go. You know what? There's things that you can't control. What the umpires did, you can't control that. You can only control what pitches you throw, and what pitches leave the ballpark, and what pitches stay in the ballpark. Right? The bullpen needs to start taking accountability for the actions that were put out tonight on display, because this is not on the offense. This wasn't on why can't I think of his name for the moment? Edward Cuello. It's not on him. He did his job. Yeah, Nick Garcia had a couple good innings, but then he fell apart, and then Aaron Phillips fell apart. When you give up, if you're pitching 1 inning and you give up 3 runs, one was earned. Because that's technically, it wasn't his, with Garcia putting people on, that kind of stuff. So, but still giving up those runs. You have to have that. You have to have someone in a high pressure situation be able to shut the door. And then Jared Price, he has done well. His ERA is 150 right now. But he has been very good for I guess I really haven't looked at his numbers. He has been very solid for the RailCats. This is the first time he's given up a run and a hit. And he's pitched in 6 innings. and he's done very well. I mean, in the 6 innings he's pitched, he has 1 save, 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 1 hit. So I can't really blame him too much for the loss, except maybe just not attacking people. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, it is what it is. So I can't really blame Jared Price because if he isn't the reason. I don't look at him and say, he's the reason why they lost this game. No, there's a handful of factors that they lost this game. It's everyone besides Jarrett Price didn't do their jobs, and Edward Cuello didn't do their jobs. You had a mental breakdown, and everyone just lost their minds. You can't let that happen. And I think tonight, Lamar Rogers needs to go into that clubhouse, stand in front of the players, and say, listen, we are better than this. We can't have mental breakdowns. You are battling for a playoff spot. This is a huge series. I don't think anyone understands how huge of a series this is. The RailCats have a potential to make the playoffs since 2019, 2018? And from basically being a laughingstock in the league last year to being on the bubble of the playoffs and gaining respect. You see it all over the place. Changing the game. It's a new era of RailCats baseball. And I'm enjoying this era of RailCats baseball. But I'm not enjoying taking an 11-1 lead and blowing it out and losing. You can't let that happen. It just can't happen. I would be, I'm the issue when I start doing these podcasts is I start to get attached to the team, and it's a good. I start to show a bit of emotion, and I don't want it to be, well, this is what happened. No, I like to show the emotion behind this, and this emotionally makes me mad. I was just hoping to come home, go to bed, and wake up to work, and that they play at noon tomorrow, and everything's all cheery-go-lucky, blah blah blah. They won the game, they blew them out, and then I can watch a little bit of both games kind of together, and then have a little powwow conversation, another podcast. But no, I come home and I have to sit my butt in a seat and watch the RailCats blow it. And this is why sometimes baseball frustrates me more than any other sport, because it's so mentally draining of a sport. It's slow paced, and every little thing is magnified, especially when you get in the later, you're walking somewhere, they're getting hits, like you just have to sit there. That's all you can think about is that, and other like other sports, hockey happens, you miss a play, you turn the puck over, and a guy scores a goal, you're like, oh, you can sit there, but then not even 10 seconds later, bam, the puck's back on the ice and you gotta go. Same thing with football. You wait the next, you just gotta go. It doesn't stop. Baseball, you may have 40 seconds to sit there and think about it. Then you bring the pitching coach. Then you have to think about it more. Then you have to, there's a lot of strategy, this and that, and not downplaying what the Railroaders, they played a little bit of small ball in this. I know they had the bunt in the 9th that kind of set everything up, or in the 8th, whatever, however it set everything up. Like I said, I didn't watch everything. I was listening to it on Mixler on my drive home, so I didn't see everything. But still, I come home and I'm just expecting. I look at my phone, I'm like, oh my, they're gaining on it. And you know what? Okay, maybe a little bit on me. I may have jinxed the game a little bit, because when I saw the game was 11-1, I tweeted at American Association. I said, oh yeah, a little premature on putting the Cleveland Railroaders in 4th because they're getting blown out for the 2nd straight night. Now I understand that the Cleveland has been on a hot streak, and their bats are been very effective lately, but this is where the bullpen just have to lock it down, and you have to burn it. All right, there's this point where you have to burn it. Use your Jack Heisenberger. Use someone. You have to be able to trust. There has to be an arm in this bullpen you have to trust. It might be Jared Price, It might be someone else. I can't identify that right now. I don't know, who you're going to go to that's gonna lock it down for you. Josh Vincent may be the other one that I think, but he didn't have the best game, or Aaron Phelps, but he didn't. I mean, when the people that you trust the most kind of start to falter, you know, maybe Voigt. I know Voigt had a couple a rough two outings. I would say he had a rough two outings. At Lakes Country and Winnipeg. But at this point, you just gotta burn the bullpens a little bit. I'm not sure who's starting tomorrow, but at that point, if it's John Cheeks, it might be. I'm not 100% positive. That's where you gotta trust him that he's gonna pitch well enough that you don't have to worry about burning your full bullpen, and then you can use the same arm multiple nights. I don't. It seems like a relief pitcher pitches and it's like, all right, you're done for 2-3 days if you only pitch 1 or 2 innings. Like normally in the major leagues, you see a relief pitcher, if they go 1 or 2 innings, they'll pitch another night. Maybe they may pitch 5 consecutive nights and they get an off day, or however, once they get over the 3-4 inning threshold, they kind of rest them a little bit. But they're not a starting pitcher. They come in for an inning or two. It just may be one of those things where you give a run, you bring a new, walk someone, you bring in someone new. You got to be able to just let it all go. And I don't think I've seen that enough this year. I don't see I'm not saying the lack of drive, but the lack of drive for Lamar Rogers to win games by burning the bullpen. I see it. I understand it. You want to trust the guys. You want your guys to get out of the slump because it's a confidence builder. But sometimes they need a kick in the butt to realize, hey, you know what? I really need to hunker down. Because what ends up happening is when you put a guy in and he's struggling and you keep him in, he keeps struggling even more. Eventually, his confidence is going to be shot. You don't want that. I don't want that. Sometimes you have to be able to burn it. All right. You didn't have your stuff, but you know what? You didn't have your stuff tonight. Come back tomorrow, and you may be the first guy out of the bullpen again. And us fans may go, "Oh, here we go again." But you never know. It's a better confidence builder than this guy. I'm gonna throw you out there for 3 innings, and we're gonna watch you blow this game and watch your confidence level go all the way down, and then we're gonna bring in the next guy. I don't want to. I just want get through the game. If this was one of those, you just had to get through the game for the bullpen, and you come out on top, you write that one off, and you move on to the next day. That's all I got for today. I wanted to get that off my chest. I can't fully blame the umpiring crew for tonight's loss, but that was the turning point of the game, and it's infuriating. And I think the American Association should look at this game. They need to have a talk with the umpires and say, hey, listen, what went wrong? What did you guys see? Because this isn't right. This isn't fair to a RailCats team that could have gotten out of the inning. This isn't fair to them who are fighting for a playoff spot. And maybe a little bit, there might be a new rivalry in town. It may be against the Railroaders. We may have a rivalry going on. This may spark a rivalry. And I think tomorrow's game is going to be interesting, especially at 6 games next week in Texas, down there in Cleburne. It's going to be very interesting. A tough loss, a tough pill to swallow. But you start at noon tomorrow, just a little over 12 hours. You got to get your mindset right. You got to win this game. You got to win the rubber match. You got to win the series, go up a half game, and move on and readjust. But it is what it is. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Facebook, Twitter, on the YouTube, comment down below. I would love to hear what you guys saw, what you guys think of what would happen, what you would have potentially have done differently. Do you like the idea of leaving guys in there and getting scored on 3 or 4 times, or burning the bullpen? When is it okay to burn the bullpen? What situations? What could have been done differently? I know they had some high pressure situations that it just wasn't there. It happens. But just like to hear what you guys think. Comment down below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as well. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, share Facebook posts, share the Twitter feed, share the podcast, get it out to the people. Get the people. I want the RailCats fans. I want the family to the comments so I can read the comments and I can get a better understanding what everyone else is thinking. So we can all kind of have a good discussion about the RailCats baseball whenever I get to go to the games, or whenever I get to go to the games, and we all see each other and we can all have conversations, or whatever the case may be. But that's gonna wrap it up for me. I'm your host, Kyle Savedich. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Really do appreciate everyone that does. It means a lot. I want you to enjoy the rest of your night, rest of your evening, whenever you're listening to this, and go Cats.